Hey, welcome back to Me Being Cheap. Thanks for watching. Alright, today is the weekend and we've got a lot on our plates. So first thing, I've got to clean up this kitchen. Let me turn you around and show you what I'm looking at. Alright, first of all, I've been canning and I've got to get these jars washed up and put away. As you can see, the table is a mess. And there's still dishes in the sink, and I'm in the middle of loading the dishwasher. And I've got a lot of chicken stock over here that I also need to put away. So Michael cooked last night. It was an interesting dish. It was the protein in it was egg, which is great because we have a lot of eggs we need to use up. I can't remember what it's called. If I find it, I'll put it in the comments. But it also had tomatoes in it and some hash brown potatoes. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Anyway, I wasn't feeling so hot last night, so I didn't do the dishes. And so I got to get this kitchen cleaned up. And what we have going on for today, in addition to getting the kitchen cleaned up, we were going to get up and go fishing, but it stormed and rained last night, so Michael says the fishing usually isn't that good after that. So we actually slept in, got a little rest that we both needed. So because it's wet and the wind has actually died down, I'm going to try and burn some boxes in the fire pit. These seem to accumulate, and the thing is that when you order stuff and it comes in the mail and you get all these boxes, sometimes you get overwhelmed and they don't always fit in the trash bin. And then we upgraded the smoker. Let me show you this outside. And we've got all this styrofoam that we've got to get rid of, and you can't burn the styrofoam. My old smoker, the electronics on it work about half the time. And we were trying to make summer sausage, and you're supposed to smoke the summer sausage, and it wouldn't fit in my little smoker. So Michael got a new one. So the other thing he's been working on is trying to get the pressure washer going, because we're going to clean off the porches this weekend, or we hope to, and give them a good wash. And we tried to use this, I believe it was last year, couldn't get it going. It's not that old, and we do drain the gas out and, you know, do all the preventative. But anyway, so he was working on that some last night. That's why we got the tools and the gas and all that out. But hopefully we get that going. Probably clean off the porches tomorrow, because I've got quite a bit going on today. So burning boxes, cleaning kitchen, washing jars, labeling, and putting them in the in the pantry. Okay, next over here I've got my cooler, and the reason why I've got a cooler in here is I've been trying to keep it going pretty much, keep the freeze dryer going pretty much non-stop. I'm trying to get my freezers cleaned out. Some of the things have been in there for quite some time, and we're trying to make it into things a little bit more readily usable. So last weekend we did a whole lot of turkey breast and whole chickens. And so I've been thawing out, I've been thawing out the food for this weekend that we're going to eat. My boys are, they're actually with their dad in Wyoming. They might be coming back this week. I've got to check on that. But we've got 2 steaks. We're going to have that for dinner tonight. Over here on the left, that's a package of quail. That's going to be dinner tomorrow for Sunday. And then I've got a large ham and a small ham, and we are going to smoke the hams, and then we will have ham for one dinner, and then we'll slice it up so that we have some sandwich meat, and then the rest will probably cube and go into the freeze dryer. And then this box down here is a 10-pound box of chicken breast meat. It's not the full pieces, it's smaller pieces. It was at a discount. Pretty sure it's the trimmings, but anyway, it still works. I need to get that cooked up and get it ready to go in the freeze dryer. I cannot remember where I bought these boxes of chicken breast, but this is the second one, and the first one I cooked it up and just left it plain so that you can season it however. And I used it in some of our camping and backpacking freeze-dried meals. It worked out just fine, so I do need to get that cooked up. Again, trying to make room in my freezer. All right, next thing I need to do once I get the kitchen cleaned up is I'm going to make some ghee today. And for those of you that don't know, this is what ghee is. It's like a shelf-stable butter. Basically, you cook it down and get all the solid milk fat out, and then you're just left with this. This has a high flash point. It's good for cooking. Still has the butter flavor. I'm not a real fan of the texture. I'm getting used to it though. But the reason why is because we've got a lot of butter in the freezer. Butter does freeze well, but after a while it can start to take on the taste of the freezer. So before the butter gets too old, I'm going to cook it down and make ghee, and then refresh with new butter. Our Kroger affiliate has butter on sale this week. My buy price is $1.99 a pound, and they have it for $1.99 a pound. So we'll be going shopping sometime this weekend to buy butter. So I'm going to make ghee, and then I'm going to continue cleaning out the freezers where possible. I've got a freezer that seriously needs defrosted, so I'm trying to get another freezer empty enough where I can put some of that product that's in that freezer into the one that's emptied out so that I can defrost the other. That may be a multi-week project, but we'll see. Alright, thanks for watching. I will check back in with you in a few. Alright, I've got the dishwasher going, and now I am washing jars. The way I do this is I get a small amount of soapy water in one side of the sink. I wash, rinse, and then set the wet jars over here. Once the sink is full, I will pick these jars up and place them on a towel, and then dry off the tops of them and label them kind of how these are labeled. Alright, I'll check back in with you in a few.
Hey guys, Michael. So with the pressure washer that Cindy was talking about, I looked at a few videos, and after yesterday I used some starting fluid to find out, directly into the carburetor, and found out that if it gets a direct flow of fuel, that it will at least turn over, which means it is definitely getting fire. And I've already checked the gas tank, and I know it was getting fuel to the carburetor, which means that from the carburetor it was not getting fuel into the engine. So what I've done is I've taken this little carburetor apart, and this thing is totally plastic. Be careful with it. That, and you might want to, if you've never done this thing before, this type of thing, you might want to take some before pictures so that you know how to reassemble it. But when I took this apart, all of this is your float assembly. I took this apart. This was connected here. There, in the fuel that was left in here, there were several little white pieces of floating material inside the fuel that was still in there. And this part of the float assembly, this center pole here, I don't know if you can see, but it's got several little holes up through there, and then it's hollow as well. That was filled up with debris. So I have narrowed it down to this debris accumulating to two things. One is we did use the 10% alcohol fuel for this, and two, it did sit for more than about 6 months without being used, with fuel still in the carburetor system. So what fuel is in here is completely alcohol free, and they're proud of that stuff right now. So I'm going to completely take it apart, as I've done. Clean it out with carburetor cleaner, allow it to dry, and then reassemble, put the good fuel in there, and then we'll get back with you once we get to that point.
All
Thanks.
right.
See you in a little bit. Bye. Hey guys, remember I was talking about the debris and content of the tank having some floaters in it? See if you can, I don't know if you can see it, but there's this little white pieces right in through here. And when that alcohol fuel sits for a while with these little small engines, that stuff gets formed. And here's the fuel that actually came out of it. Right here. And I don't know if you can tell, but there's a lot of white debris gathered down here in the bottom. But I've got the carburetor cleaned out. It's on. I'm cleaning out the gas tank right now. I'm going to rinse it really good with the good fuel, and then get rid of that, dry it real good, top it off, and let's see what we get.
All right, we've had a probable shift in plans. Michael was thinking that he might have to take apart the lower part of the pressure washer, and he estimates that's going to be quite the time commitment. So he may or may not be able to get that going, and so he might just put that up for today. We pulled out a lot of meat from the freezer. Again, I'm trying to get freezers defrosted, cleaned, organized. Meat that needs something done with, it. So again, he did get that large smoker. Some of this meat, I am not even sure if it's still good. There was one of these styrofoam packed, I saw a hole in. I'm not sure which one it is. So it may just be completely dried out. But we are going to smoke some meat, and some of this we might just thaw it out and repackage it, and then put it back, not thaw it out, but thaw it out enough where we could split it into smaller portions repackaged. We'll just have to kind of take a look at it and see once we get to working on this. So I am letting it thaw out slightly. Found some salmon. I'm hoping it's still good. We didn't get the shrink wrap. So sometimes what happens is we buy the meat, put it in the freezer, and then we don't use it when we think we're going to use it, and then it sits in there for a while, and if we don't get to it, if it's not vacuum sealed, it will get ice crystals and get bad. So we're going to attempt to smoke this salmon and have it for our meal on Monday night. We've been trying to eat fish a couple times a week now. So this is a little piece of Spanish mackerel. We took a fishing trip down to Florida in April of this year, down to the Pensacola area, and did some fishing. And Michael's just wanting to see if this mackerel will smoke well. So we got a little bit of that out. But this is normally how we pack our meat. We vacuum seal it, label it so that we know exactly what it is. But some of these trays are some that just didn't happen to. So we're going to see if this is still good and then do a bunch of smoking. Some of this, once it's cooked, will go back in the freezer. Some of it will go in the freeze dryer. Some of it will have it for meals in the next week or so. And I don't know, I might can some of this. And I know a couple of these hunks of roast, maybe this one and another one, we had intended on making beef jerky out of. So we might go ahead and make some beef jerky. So meanwhile, I have cleared the freezer from butter, and I buy butter when it's on sale. I put it up in the freezer. I have not developed a good first in, first out system for this. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll just buy butter, and then when I seem to have a surplus, I will make some ghee. So that's what I'm going to do this afternoon. I've done previous videos on ghee making. I will try and link that in the description if you're interested on how to make ghee. And then also over there in the cooler, over there, I have a box of chicken that I need to cook. I'm not going to smoke it, I'm just going to cook it plain and then put that in the freeze dryer, and it will be in small cooked pieces that I can make backpacking meals out of. Alright, well I'm going to get busy unwrapping butter. I'll check back in with you later. Here is a big old pot of butter sticks. And they wouldn't all fit in there, so I have some more to unwrap and add once this melts down. There's the wrappers and the boxes. And I used to save the wrappers for making hamburger patties, but I think I've already got quite a supply in the freezer already, so I think I'm probably going to pitch those in the trash. Alright, I'll check back in with you in a few. Alright, I've got the butter melting, cooking down, and as you can see, it's already down about an inch. Here in a bit, I'll try and give it a stir and add those other sticks of butter. I have my griddle heating up that takes up 2 burners. And I have 2 5-pound bag of chicken breast meat. And I'm just going to cook this plain, unseasoned, and then this is going in the freeze dryer. And right now I have eggs in the freeze dryer, and they have a lot of water content in them. By the way, if you want to see how many eggs, look at all those eggshells. I'll grind those up, feed them back to the chickens. But I actually took the eggs out of the freeze dryer because the freeze dryer was so full of ice, the ice had started coming over onto the trays. So I put the eggs from the freeze dryer back into a freezer, and I'm defrosting the freeze dryer. And once that's defrosted, I will go ahead and start the freeze drying process back on the eggs. But the next item that's going in the freeze dryer will be this cooked chicken. Alright, thanks for watching. We have the water hooked up to it.
Okay, make sure it's running through. I'm getting a little flow here at the end of the hose. It just means that it is at least getting water through the system. We're good on gas. And for those that have a hard time keeping up with this, circle means stop. There's no worded verbiage or indication of which is which. It's just a circle and a dash. So you put it on the dash to start. And first you say a good long prayer to the great Lord Jesus, and then you pull. Here we go. Like apples? How about those?
Here we are out for our almost daily bike ride. That up there is the highest point in Sumner County, Kansas. Up there where the cell phone tower is. Michael got a new bike. is our lovely little town. And here I am. It's actually pretty nice today. Not too hot and not too windy. Recently when we've been doing this, it's been very hot and a very stout wind. All right, check back in with you in a few. And this is what we like to do after our Saturday or Sunday bike rides. We have this lovely little snow cone place in town. What flavor do you have, Andrea? I'm sorry, got
Black cherry.
Black cherry. And Michael?
We got berry pop,
Berry
which
pop?
is raspberry and strawberry.
And I got America, and that is cherry, silver fox, which is a vanilla, and blue raspberry. And I'm hot and sweaty, but it was a good ride. Hey, welcome back to Me Being Cheap. It is Monday morning, and I know that the video I was filming was going to be what I did on a Saturday. So, in a nutshell, Michael did get that pressure washer going, and my kids came home from vacation, and so on Sunday, after church, I had them help me pull everything off of the porch. And then we pressure washed. Now, of course, this water's left over from the rain. But yeah, we washed everything down. And I need to put the rugs back down. I've got these strips, these Velcro strips that are tacked on that help hold it in place. But we washed everything. Threw away a lot of junk. Got the grills hosed off. Yeah. So that actually took quite a bit of time because, I mean, it was pretty hoarded back here and pretty dirty. So this is my tacky attempt at keeping the birds from making nest up there. They sure can make a nest. So that's tin foil wedged up in there and some CDs to reflect the light. As you can see, there's bird poop that didn't come off with the pressure washer. But yeah, it makes a real mess. So we're hoping to prevent that again. But if I come over here, and these little birds they're persistent. So I've put the CDs up above there. There is a larger space between this ceiling and these windows, and this little window back here, it's right up on the roof. So I put the CDs up there, but as you can tell, there is fresh mud up there. And I washed the porch off once during the height of the pandemic. Tried to order bird prevention strips, and they were, look, you can see those birds flying around. See, they want to come back. They are persistent. Anyway, the bird strips that you put on windows, they were like back ordered, like not available. So they have already put the mud up there and have made a mess. I hosed off this bench. There's mud here and more poop here. And this is only less than 24 hours. These birds are tenacious. And I would say, you know, a lot of people say, oh, they're good, they eat bugs, they eat wasps. No, they don't. There's a lot of wasp nests. There's one up here that we took down. They don't help with that. At least not here, at least not at my house. I think they just like to build the nest and make it dirty. So this is one thing that we did on Saturday, or excuse me, Sunday. We got all this done. Other things are that ghee. So I'll walk in here and show you what that looks like. And then I will show you the freeze dryer where the chicken is. Alright, check back in with you in a few. Okay, 23 jars of ghee. Turned out nice. So this was originally 27 pounds. And actually, it's more like 23 and almost 24. This one wasn't filled up enough, so this is just one that I just put a lid on, like a used lid, and set it beside my stove for use. So, did clean the freezer out of butter, and we're going to go stock back up on that at Kroger. We did not start the smoker. We seasoned all the meat, and we will start the smoker tonight on the pork, and then the beef we're going to wait a little bit on that and get that going. So yeah, I will run downstairs and show you the freeze dryer. Alright, I have the chicken all cooked up. I've got 2 trays in the downstairs freezer already, pre-freezing before I put it in the freeze dryer. And all that butter, I've got it over here cooking into ghee. So I'm going to run these other 2 down to the freezer. Meanwhile, Michael's cooking dinner. So we've got Brussels sprouts in the oven. Got the light on here. Can't really see them. Anyhow. And then we're having steak. Alright, check back in with you in a bit.